Hello and welcome. You are tuning into The Real Review, a movie review show designed to save you, the viewer, the time and money spent on a disappointing cinema experience. I'm Baker,
The Geek.
and this is Samson, and we've got the Rooster over here on the boards.
Rooster, what's going on, buddy? How are you doing? You just gave us the finger as we were doing the intro, dude. That's what makes it hilarious. For those of you who are not watching the video at home, you didn't even think I was going to call you out on
No,
that.
I'm doing good. You know what I was thinking? I'm thinking the word epic, I hate with a passion.
Oh my
Y'all,
gosh!
you use it.
Hold on,
everybody,
no.
Epic.
I don't, but
No.
Baker does.
No, I hate the
Yes.
word epic. I never use that word. Epic and Uber, I refuse to ever use those
nobody
words.
uses. I don't think
Uber.
Uber's a word.
No, I'm talking about epic.
Did
word
you use
epic
the word
pisses
Uber
me off.
with your frat buddies who carry the bottle,
The beer caps in
beer
their
caps
pockets.
in their pockets?
Really? That happened. People did that. That's how they
Nobody-
counted in the morning.
That's uber fun.
That was so epic, bro.
No, the word epic, I hate that Samson uses it.
No, hold on, man. I
and
think
the
you're
movie
wrong.
critics. No, I'm not
Yes.
wrong. I hate it.
There are
No,
some things that epic
if
is
I-
necessary
Don't you
for.
think that word can be pertinent for sure?
Yes,
Absolutely.
But everybody uses it.
So no,
now.
can't you say that you don't like the misuse of the word
Yes.
epic?
I like that. I pointed
You know what?
at him
You know what
while
I
said
did
that.
the other day?
I'm
I
gonna give you
used
some
it.
homework.
I used it when I was saying I'm starting my morning off with the mimosa. This is an epic moment in my day. That made sense to me.
No, that does make sense.
Right?
But when somebody says, "Oh my gosh, man,"
Oh, it's
that
movies.
joke
Movies.
was so epic. Oh my gosh, that was great.
Okay, nobody talks like that, really.
You shut your
Movie
mouth.
is
Except
epic.
you and your frat friends.
The epic movie. I hate that.
I thought the ending to the movie Secret of Nim was epic.
Hey, Secret of Nim's a good movie. Why you hating on the Secret of
I'm
Nim?
not. I'm saying the ending was one of the most epic endings. I mean, just all the sword play and everything, and they're rats, and they're in the mud, and they're fighting, and you're thinking this is a kid's movie, and people are getting stabbed, and it's great. I think that is an
You
epic
couldn't even
ending.
get a more random reference of what you're talking about. Right now.
It's because it's
I don't
one of-
hate it. I don't hate what you're doing. I'm just baffled by it.
because I think that is one of the most epic.
Secret of Nim is epic.
That is one of the most epic endings I've ever witnessed.
Secret of Nim is an epic ending. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
I think
Saving Private Ryan be damned. Secret of Nim,
Yes.
you're epic, baby.
Saving Private Ryan might as well have been the Notebook for all I care.
the point that he said that was epic makes me angry.
What? That was epic.
No, I don't. And
And your voice
I
got
have no
higher,
idea
so it's
why
obviously
he
not
said it
in,
like that.
in points at all.
I
You guys are
agree
jerks.
that it definitely could be overplayed.
Absolutely.
But if you don't overplay it, which I don't, and you insulted me by saying I do, how often do I say the word epic?
You say it more than you
Huh?
should.
I thought when you put your head through the window of my bathroom a couple weeks ago, that was pretty epic.
No,
You
that
know?
is epic.
That is epic, okay?
That makes sense.
I thought that was tragic. I was afraid he was gonna die.
As he was urinating on himself.
Tickle, 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 smash. Tickle, 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 whatever.
It was under control.
No one but Ozzy Osbourne could have been under less control while urinating.
The good thing about the Rooster, he doesn't do drugs, and Nazi does drugs.
Ozzy has done a few. So we're reviewing a movie today by the name of Hitchcock. Sort of a biography, I guess, of Alfred Hitchcock, the great filmmaker.
Yes,
I guess
sir.
really it's not much of a biography as much as it is, once again, just a small portion of the life of
Hitchcock.
Hitchcock.
Right.
It's I guess Hollywood's having a lot of fun with this whole deal. You know, just taking a small portion of something and just putting the
I don't
big
know why. You're right. I don't know
name
why
on
they're
it.
doing that. I don't even know why they're doing that because you've seen some great successes with Walk the Line,
yeah.
right? And what was the one with Jamie Foxx in it? He won an Oscar.
Ray,
Ray,
yeah,
right? Showed the life,
yes.
Right.
It showed an enormous portion of the life.
right? So Hitchcock, going to it thinking, because I love Alfred Hitchcock, right?
Yes.
I mean, absolutely. Thinking that it was going to be a body of his work wasn't. I mean, the whole movie is based around Psycho.
Yeah, the making of Psycho.
That's it. So it shouldn't be called Hitchcock. It should be called The Making of Psycho, starring Hitchcock. I guess. I don't even know.
Yeah, well, I mean, initially, apparently, what it was supposed to have been called was Hitchcock, The Making of Psycho. That was the initial, that was the working title.
Really?
As you will. Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not
was
even,
it really?
I'm not even joking with you right now.
Okay.
It was Hitchcock, There was a colon there.
That would have made more sense,
Apparently
right?
he had a big colon because they had him a big fat pig throughout the whole movie.
Oh, man, you just called him out on that the whole time.
I didn't like the way they shot him in this whole movie. I thought it was insulting. I thought it was degrading. And it didn't add. If they were shooting his life and they were talking about what a big fat pig he was, then it would make sense. But the movie took place over, I don't know, maybe a year.
Maybe.
And they kept
going to these scenes.
Right, these weird scenes where he was a big fat pig.
Just like eat a bunch of food? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, he would go and destroy like 18 cans of tuna with his fingers. Just be like...
That was very weird. They even had him like when he was drinking wine. It wasn't like, hey, you drink wine. He was like slugging mead from a horn. I mean, it was just,
it was pouring down his Viking beard.
It was just a big.
By Odin's name, I will finish this beverage.
I mean, I don't know why, other than the fact that if they were doing a full length feature on his life, that maybe it would have been pertinent to the story. But instead, it wasn't. So I mean, all they did was insult the man's entire career or life. It made him a big fat pig. It was terrible.
It'd be like having Elvis movie where right at the very end where he's in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Right before he dies, kind of deal.
No, not really.
Centering the entire movie on that.
Yeah.
Not even at the end. It would center the whole movie around
him sitting on the toilet.
Elvis.
Elvis dropping the deuce.
So disgusting and weird. No, it'd be what? It'd be Elvis like doing like one live tour on the Vegas stage. I mean, it wasn't even Hitchcock's end because Hitchcock died in 1980. Psycho was done in 1960.
1959, 1960.
Right.
Yeah.
So he died in 80, 20 years later. And then he had a full body, like an entire career. The whole movie started, and it was so stupid, coming out of North by Northwest. And then there was people asking him, like, hey, Mr. Hitchcock, you've had a great, career. What's next for you? Why don't you retire now? You're 60 years old.
Yeah. I mean, it was so right in the middle of my prime.
Right. It was so cliche and stupid. Like, I can't even believe they put that in the movie. So then they went into, and I liked the fact how they shot him creating and doing Psycho. There's no doubt about that. I mean, that was interesting. But they could have done his entire body of work because people view him as like this horror or thriller guy, but he really wasn't.
Was Psycho his biggest movie?
Yes.
It wasn't Birds?
I would say so, yeah.
No. Psycho
was
by
freaky.
far.
Although something really cool about Birds, by the way, did you ever hear about what he did as a marketing ploy for Birds? In the New York subways, he actually put up big posters that said, "The Birds is coming," because he knew it would get people talking. So all of a sudden people go down there and they're looking at it, they're like, "The Birds is coming?" No, that's grammatically incorrect. It's "The Birds are coming." And then people were talking about it. So when the movie came out, or was scheduled to come out, everyone was like, "Oh, that's what it was talking about." So everybody was in. Everyone was already talking about it.
They capitalized that in the movie because the movie Psycho's after a book, right?
Yeah.
So and then when he decided to do the movie, he said he wanted to buy up all the rights to every book, buy every book that was in print, and then he made everybody do an oath on the day of shooting and sign a waiver that they were not going to tell the end. And the actors didn't even know what was going on throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So it really captured what and especially this is back in the 50s, when filmmakers weren't filmmakers. There were directors, and there was editors, and there was producers, and there was grips. I mean, they weren't filmmakers back in those days.
Yeah.
They had a role. He was a director. That's what he did. He directed. You know? but he also marketed the film, you know. So they captured on that. He had to mortgage his house, and he marketed the movie well. And I mean, there was definite pros to it. I was let down because I wanted to see like Hitchcock's, you know, the life of Hitchcock.
Yes,
for
yeah,
sure.
no, and I agree. I will say this: one of the best parts, I guess, about the show, about the movie, was the some of the characters. You know, you had Jessica Biel in this.
Ugh.
You know, she played
What?
Vera Miles.
I don't know what that says. But...
She was a girl who had previously played in a Hitchcock movie.
And Hitchcock had problems with her.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you had Scarlett Johansson playing
Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh.
She did a great job actually in
did.
the famous scene, and just her. They captured her being like a mother and having, you know, morals and stuff. It's kind of weird because it showed Hitchcock as being a pig and like snooping through. I forgot about that. He was like looking through the.
Oh yeah,
Remember that?
Constantly looking through the blinds.
Right. No, he had a peek hole at one point.
They
had him being a pervert, like right.
Oh. I would if those two actresses. Jesus, are you kidding me?
Classic.
You just named like two of the hottest actresses that exist.
I have to agree with you
Right?
on that.
Come on. You'd
I
have a peephole.
I mean, I thought they did a great job of just insulting the man's career almost, the way they portrayed it. And a big chunk of it wasn't even making Hitchcock. It was his relationship with his wife.
Yeah. Played by Helen Mirren. Yeah, that was
was a huge part of the movie.
And she did a great job once again. You know, I mean.
Well, I wouldn't know because I had no idea that his wife was a huge part of his life. And maybe I would have known that had I seen a movie about his life.
Oh.
Instead, I saw.
You mean like that movie Hitchcock?
Hey, that's Will Smith's in that movie, right? Hitchcock.
No.
It's Hancock.
Hancock.
Hey-o.
Oh.
I was hoping
Wow.
Will Smith would be in this movie. Never mind.
But, I mean, I like how they really captured a lot of the character, not the characters, but I guess the real people. Like I said, you know.
Well, the guy who played Anthony Perkins.
Oh gosh, what was James Darcy?
Right.
Yeah, James Darcy. That dude.
He looked like him, act like him.
Yes.
You know,
he had the mannerisms and everything.
That movie ruined that guy's career. If you look at the story of Anthony Perkins and Psycho, it literally ruined his life. Because people don't even know that he was nominated for an Oscar, I think the year before he did...
Before he did Psycho?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Friendly Persuasion is my mother's favorite movie.
Really?
It's not even here. I'm trying to look it up on IMDb.
IMDb?
No, but he struggled. He was so typecast after that. He couldn't get a gig in Hollywood. Well, he ended up moving to France and did French films, and he was in hiatus for like 20-something years until the 80s. He came back and did like Psycho 2, 3, and 4 until he died of AIDS.
Well,
but
you know, it must have been tough in Hollywood at the time, being someone of the homosexual persuasion.
No, it wasn't. He wasn't. No, that's never really been a problem. It's Hollywood, man. They don't even care. They
Back
hope
then,
you're gay. No.
Rock Hudson hid from it for how long?
A good portion of his life.
Exactly.
Right?
It was a big deal back then. Now, not everybody can be.
No, Baker, everybody knew he was gay. He hid from it, from the public eye, not the industry. Everybody knew Rock Hudson was gay. They didn't care. He was still playing in movies and shows. He had that crappy show, but it was a big hit. He didn't come out to the public eye. That's different because public, still,
the public can have ideas and speculate, but until you come out and say, "Hey, I happen to be a dolphin," no one believes that you are truly a sea mammal. I got you.
So you equate gay guys with dolphins?
No.
So who's podcasting now?
Are they jumping through rainbows? Is that what they're doing?
This is a Lisa Frank cover right here. Copyright Lisa Frank.
Okay, what are we talking about?
I don't even know.
No,
Hitchcock.
he had problems with actually being typecast as
A psycho?
right. I mean, because he played it perfectly. Don't tell me he didn't play it perfectly.
No, he was
played
fantastic.
It perfectly.
It had a lot of the pieces that fit. He had those pieces, the slight social anxiety, the fear of, I guess, being found out for a secret, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? He had parts that made a serial killer or a killer in that situation that made that believable. He could put that into the character.
He has really a sad career if you look past Psycho. Terrible.
Here's the question. Was he, in fact, in Starship Troopers 3?
What was that? No.
I just figured Starship Troopers 3 would be the lowest of the low.
There was a 2 and a 3?
Oh, there was a 2. And it was almost as bad as the 3.
Friendly
I had no
Persuasion,
idea.
1956. That's it. That's
So
what
it
I'm
was.
looking
It
for.
was.
He was
3
nominated.
or 4 years before.
He was he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in Friendly Persuasion, which is a movie about Puritans. And I mean, if you look back on his body of work after that, and even interviews, I mean, Psycho was the maker and the breaker.
Well, all right.
I mean, it was the maker and the breaker. He did Psycho 2 in 1983.
Oh, so terrible.
He did Psycho
1959.
in 1959.
Yeah.
So almost 30 years later.
I gotta say this though.
Wow.
Anthony Hopkins, who might
1960
go
or something.
down as one of my favorite actors, maybe of all time, killed the part. He was fantastic as Alfred Hitchcock. Everything from his mannerisms to like the way he would articulate, very, very.
I mean, I
dead
guess
on.
on the fact that maybe that's
I
how
loved the
Alfred
show.
Hitchcock was, a big fat pig.
Well, those
I
scenes.
mean, it
I'm
was
not talking about those scenes
insulting.
when he spoke.
Every scene was that. I mean, it
no,
was
not
terrible.
every scene was
There
that.
was
when
a
he
jealous
directing
pervert.
And then,
I mean, he was a
well,
jealous
maybe
pervert.
he was. How do we know he wasn't a jealous pervert and a fat pig?
I would have known if I've seen the entire body of his work.
Well, just wait till it shows up on the History Channel. It'll be there. Just watch.
No, it won't.
Maybe it won't.
That's what I'm saying. You bring up a great point, which I would love to examine had I seen his life work. But I didn't. I saw a year of his life, maybe 2 years, of trying to do Psycho and being a big, fat, jealous, perverted pig. And
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it, I mean, golly. I mean, I thought it was almost insulting, honestly.
Was that a low point in his life? 'Cause you said that he mortgaged his house and shit.
That's the most successful movie he ever did.
But to get
But
there,
before,
No.
to get there, was that a low point? You said he had to mortgage his house and stuff?
No, he had to do it because back in those days, they weren't filmmakers, man. You know, they were directors. So they were all under contract, right? And he was one of the very few, like, stars who did great, huge movies, right? And then he did TV. He did the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, which they referenced beautifully
fantastic.
in the
I remember
movie,
that part. Yeah.
right? In the movie that they were just basically saying, "Hey," because he even came back from when they tried to pitch that they want to do Psycho, and they're like, "You want to do a horror movie? You know, it's weird. It's not right. Blah blah blah. All this kind of crap, right?" And he was like, "Well, they don't like me because I've been on TV." So he referenced like, "Well, they think I'm dirty because I dirtied it up with television."
Yeah.
And that's when his agent came in and said, "Well, who was getting $29,000 an episode and blah blah blah." So it was a different apparatus back then.
Well,
So he had to go to the studio to get permission to do the movie, and they said, "Well, no, I won't do it." And so he goes, "Well, why?" And they go, "Well, we're not going to give you the funding." So he goes, "Well, I'll mortgage the house." So he mortgaged his own house.
he
said, "I
built
will
the
fund
capital
it."
himself.
I mean, it was interesting. It definitely got me captivated. I mean, it's what so many people do in the filmmaking industry. But
Well,
I mean, Psycho, that's it. He has a huge body of work, very influential. I mean, and all we get is Psycho.
Well, was
Really?
it when
Really?
we were
That's it?
watching
That's all
when
we
we
get?
were watching the scene with where they were talking about the shower scene? You said you leaned over to me. You were like, "I got something for you on this. I got something for you on this." Like something about the shower scene. What was that all about?
Well, it didn't have to do with this shower scene, but it had to do with him being a phenomenal director in the apparatus that I was talking about. The fact that back in the days, you filmed the movie, and then the editors cut the movie, right?
Okay.
But he was a control freak, and everybody was under a union rule at that time like they are now, right? So you didn't have a choice. You filmed it, then you gave it over to the execs, and they gave it to the editors, and they edited whatever you wanted to.
Yeah.
Right? Okay? In any direction, whatever. Because when you film a movie, you film from different sides, right? We'll film over here and over there and take a shot from over here, right?
Yeah.
But Hitchcock was so persnickety and in so much control.
That's a fun word, persnickety.
That he filmed a particular movie because they said, well, you'll have nothing to do with the editing of it, that he only filmed particular shots from one direction to say you couldn't edit in any other way. And it was a big middle finger to the brass that makes it... I mean, I learned that in film school, and it was one of the greatest things that made me love the guy because he goes, I tell you what, I got it. I can't edit the movie. So I will only shoot it in these... And it wasn't like 50 takes. Because for those people who don't know, when you're filming a movie, you'll film a scene like 30 times from one direction and then another direction and that direction, and then you edit it.
Yeah.
You cut it all in the editing room. But he goes, well, I want it to look this way and be from this direction, that he only filmed each individual shot from a particular direction to give the big middle finger to the editors and say, hey, just trim it up on the sides.
That's actually so cool.
That's nice. I never thought about that ever.
I mean, to me,
I had no idea.
That shows so much unbelievable skill because from a filmmaking point of view, I mean, you have to see the bigger picture in your mind when you're shooting the smaller picture, and that's what makes them awesome. So I went into the movie knowing that was one of the greatest stories to me in filmmaking history, aside from the John Ford one, which is pretty great. And I wanted to see how great he was as a filmmaker over the years, and all I saw was like a year and a half. He's a big fat pig, and he's jealous, and he's horny, and
so they didn't show that part in the movie.
No.
They did not even touch on
that. That wasn't in Psycho. That was in an earlier part.
Oh, you had me all giddy. I was ready to get so angry at this movie for not showing that.
Well, he paid for Psycho, so he had a lot more control, and they show all the editing.
Yeah.
But it shows his majesty as a filmmaker and his artistry as a filmmaker. That, I mean, he was doing movies in like the 20s. I mean, when he did Psycho, he's been doing movies for years. He was born in the 1800s. I mean, he was 60 years old, I think. 60-something when he did Psycho. He wasn't a young kid, you know?
He's a very old man.
Wow.
At that time.
Thanks a lot for that.
Well, they portrayed him as a very old, fat, sweaty pig of a man. That's how they portrayed him.
Who has one of the most recognizable profiles in the history of filmmaking.
It's awesome, actually.
So Samson.
It's funny. He actually...
I was going to say. What did you actually think about this movie? I know kind of what you didn't like about it, but what did you think about it?
Give us your rating there, Samson.
It's difficult. It's one of the difficult ones that I have to say. Catch it on DVD. I can't say go see it in the movie theater, even though there was a lot of parts of the movie that I really liked. But I'm viewing it as a Hitchcock fan, kind of like the Hobbit guy. You know what I'm talking about? They love the Hobbit so much, and they read so much more into it.
So I'm the Hobbit guy?
You're the Hobbit guy.
You can't call me by my name?
You got big feet and stuff at the premiere.
And you're very hairy. It's awkward.
My name is Illyrian. Illyrian of Lothlorien. Call me that.
I like to call you a fist in your face.
Why is everything always so violent with
you? Because you interrupted me, man. I'm talking over here.
Sorry. Continue.
I'd have to say catch it on DVD. Because they did capture it. Because I guess they cater to the fans. I mean, people don't know Hitchcock. That is so old, right? And the only thing they know from him is The Birds. They know Psycho. And then some people know the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, which was like a TV show.
Yeah.
They know his profile. So they captured some of that in the movie. So catch it on DVD. Don't see it in the theater. Because, I mean, there was references that people were kind of going, that's kind of funny, but I don't know who this big fat pig is.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you say?
I'd have to say the same thing. Catch it on DVD simply because I think that the story of Hitchcock is something that most people, anybody who's truly into movies, should definitely check out. Also, once again, as I said, Anthony Hopkins did a fantastic job. I mean, I compare this movie a lot in the feeling, the style, the emotion built up in it. I compare it a lot to the movie The Lovely with Kevin Kline. I don't know if you've seen it. But
you keep talking about that.
It's
talked about it when we left the damn theater.
Yeah, but the way that movie moved felt a lot like the way this movie moved. It was informative, slow, but not at all boring. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the only thing you could kind of give to it is that you have to, if you're even involved with film, you cannot take into account. It's like almost like Citizen Kane. You can't take into account that Psycho is one of the most iconic films of all time, right? It's like the original horror movie. People talk, and they captured it in the movie. They definitely did. But many of us went to go see it thinking that it was Alfred Hitchcock. They did a good job, so that's why I was torn to say, well, don't wait for the network premiere. Catch it on DVD because they do catalog very well of the Psycho movie. I thought that was very entertaining. Aside from that, it was kind of a letdown, I thought, because I wanted to see more Hitchcock.
Well, there you go, folks. You heard it straight from the Samson's mouth. Catch it on the DVD. Per Samson, per Baker. The Rooster got nothing to say on it.
You have nothing to say except Jessica Biel is hot.
And so is Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
Two of the hottest chicks in the movies ever.
Thank you, sir.
Go see it because of that.
Absolutely. There you go. So, folks, thanks a lot for joining us here at The Real Review. Once again, check us out at facebook.com/TheRealReviewTX or follow us on Twitter at Samson L. Matador, at Baker the Geek, and at The Rooster BB. Catch you next time. Thanks a lot.